Camden Speedway in Camden, Tennessee. It looks like they got a pretty good car count, so I'm hoping to have a good field of cars and everything. So we got done, got all our vinyl on, we're gonna get it unloaded, got a few more crate racing stickers we gotta get on this thing, and then hopefully we're gonna be able to get it on the track, do a few hot laps, make sure everything's all right. Stay tuned. Show it all. So first heat race for this car, it was a flop. The track was a whole lot tackier and a whole lot rougher than I would have ever hoped for. And of course, that's been my concern, that the really soft 750 spring on the right front, it was going to be really good for the dry slick track. It's going to be really bad for a heavy, tacky, rough track. So right out the gate, we went ahead and got our feet wet with a really rough track. Really hooked up, and it was just spongy. And what it is, it's the beginning of the year and they put a lot of fresh dirt in, working the track, so all that's got to get worked and stuff. So that very first race, you know, it's going to be real spongy and stuff. So we got in that, didn't have enough motor, and was just bogging off into the turn, getting all hung up. What was happening is I was completely compressing my spring on the right front, and then at that point she'd shear and push. And so the car was just a bucking Bronco. I don't have any car cam footage for it, but I did get some footage from outside of the track looking at it. So let's take a look at a couple of the laps here. Don't laugh, gotta start somewhere, y'all. In from that disaster, and you know, started to turn on the right front, and I said, you know what, regardless of what it does on the bike, I've just got to put a lot more ride height into my right front in order to deal with this situation here now. You know, and that gets to, you do whatever you have to do at the track to make the car work. You got to make the car drivable, you know, and you start compromising to make the car drivable. You know, it's that or load it on the trailer, one of the two. And so I had put about 2 rounds into the right front, and I was talking to my friend Colby Brandon, who just wears it out at the Camden Speedway here in West Tennessee. Track champion year after year in the crate racing class there, has just got that track locked in, knows exactly what to do for any track conditions there. And you know, Colby said, he's like, I'd really crank on it. He's like, it's going to get a lot better, a lot worse, but I wouldn't be afraid to like turn a lot on it and make it do something. And you know, I listened to advice. So I got back under this right front and I took a ratchet and I just went to turning until I was like, it has clearly got a lot more room for that spring now. I have no idea what that is right now on this car. I know this right front's sitting way up in the air, But we took it, we went back out in the feature, and so the car was no longer collapsing out. It had enough spring that I was able to carry the car at that point, which was much better. And then of course, my mind at first, I'm just fighting the car. I'm just fighting the car. It's like me and this car have got to figure each other out. We got to become friends. And about halfway through the race, there was a caution, and so it got everything lined up. And I'd been losing position, wasn't carrying lap speed where I needed to be. And I had been trying to run the bottom, and I wasn't really being effective. The car, when I'd gotten in the rough, the car was, pretty decent and everything. And I'm like, I need to get off this bottom. And I need to run this car, and I need to let it run through the chop or whatever. If I've got the spring where it's supposed to handle it, I've got it was clear to me I had too much bite to be right down on the bottom. Because, it was just, I was trying to turn too tight a radius, it had too much left rear bite in it, the way I cranked it up. And I needed to depend on that cushion on the high side. You carry a lot of left rear bite in a car if you've got that right front hooked into something really tacky. You got like a top berm, or you got something that you can hook that right front in and to really turn that car. Well, when that's the case, you can have a lot of left rear bite in the car and still turn the car. And entry was a problem, and then I'm like, wait a minute, I've got 3-wheel brakes. So I turned the right front brake off and started running up on the high side, and the car started making pace. And of course I'm like, at that point, I'm like, this is great. So let's watch this. seems to be working on it. Of course, now I got to put it back on the scales. Where am I at now? You know, why does this work like that? And learn and document and take notes and go through all that process, gather information for y'all as well. Go through all of that stuff, get this car ready. We are going to the Golden Egg next. We're going to go to the practice and everything where that we can change some stuff and see, you know, try to figure out what makes the car work. Now, there's no doubt, like I got on that tacky track, and I don't have as much motor, and that is going to hurt me for a while. But to be honest, I'm okay with that because I'm going to focus on getting this car rolling through the corner and get the setup right. And when I get all that dialed in and I say the only thing holding me back on being able to just dominate and be, you know, the best competition, you know, and something to be feared when I show up the track is the engine, then at that point, you know, okay, we need to swap the engine out and everything. Not going to worry about it for this first couple of races. We're going to get the old girl here to roll through these corners right. But if you're going to be down in Mississippi, at Columbus, Mississippi, it's a Magnolia Motor Speedway. I will be there for the Golden Egg. Come by, say hi. We're going to have some t-shirts and stuff there. Hey, I appreciate y'all.